Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Until My Watch is Over. This is a podcast where we talk about the devastating truth that dementia is a killer. In fact, it's the sixth top killing disease in our nation. And I honestly don't think that we talk about it enough. I honestly feel like if we were to build a community and help one another out and start getting awareness out there, that we could help reduce dementia. Now, I know that there is no cure for dementia currently. It's still being worked on. Well, it was being worked on. I'm not sure if it currently is now at the moment because of funding cuts, but it has been worked on for many, many, many years, and they do not have a cure currently for curing dementia, which is sad to say. But I will say this, there is a lot of hope. We always want to have hope. We want to keep hope. We want to keep our faith alive when we're caring and loving for our loved ones. So a lot of you already know my story. You already know that I care for my grandmother. That's 95, just turned 95 in November. I've been caring for her since she was 89. I've had her for 6 years. And she is a hoot. Known her obviously most of my life. And her dementia has progressed over the last year since she broke her hip. It's been a little over a year actually since she broke her hip. And she kind of went downhill, but then bounced back and was doing really good. So, up until recently, so today's topic of discussion is I want to talk about change and how to cope with it. And how are you coping with it? How are you yourself coping with change? Because it's inevitable that change is going to come. So, I don't know what stage you're at with your loved one. There's many stages of their cognitive decline when their brain is just slowly, rapidly depleting. And so they become less and less themselves. Don't understand their own body. They don't understand their own mind. They don't understand a lot of stuff. So you have to kind of do all of the thinking and the physical stuff for them. And so as you're going through changes, I want to know how you're coping with it. What are you doing? This last week, I'm going to be really transparent here, has been super, super hard for me. Probably one of the hardest weeks that I've ever had with my grandmother. Now, when she broke her hip, we knew that she was going to have to start using a walker. She had not been using a walker up to this point. So, up until a little over a year ago, she was getting up and walking on her own. When she broke her hip, she ended up becoming dependent on a walker and a wheelchair. So she had those two to help her. We had to bring in a hospital bed, and we had to just make some subtle arrangements. Not a lot. Not a lot of things had to change, but we needed to make her comfortable, and we needed to make sure that she was safe. There were periods of times when she would like try to climb out of bed. So we had bed railings up. We do have a hospital bed that has one rail on each side, but we bought an extra rail for the lower part of it, and she is up against a wall. So the lower part she can't climb out. Well, she can climb out. She has. But I mean, it keeps her from hopefully wanting to climb out. It's just a smaller railing. So there is still a gap there. But there's bed pad alarms that you can get. There's monitors that you can get. We have all of that in her room for those kind of situations. But with my grandma this last week, even though she broke her hip, she'd been doing really good. She went downhill and then bounced back and was doing she's had been doing really, really, really good. She has had a couple of UTIs, and I know a lot of you will jump on here and say, oh, take her in and get a UTI, get a UTI, get a UTI. We're working on that already. I've already got a hold of the doctor. Anytime I see a difference or a decline at all, I'm on the phone with the doctor. I'm making a game plan. I'm getting prepared. Because if I'm not prepared, then I'm not going to be able to take care of her as well if I just think that it's going to take care of itself. It doesn't take care of itself. And I think for those of us that have been doing this for a while, we know none of this will take care of itself. You have to stay proactive. So this last week has been um, just a shift in her physical body where she's just not able to function, not able to get up, not able to turn over, not able to lift her arms, not able to pick up her feet. Sometimes she does not think she has feet. She doesn't think those feet are hers. Her mind is really kind of really shifting, and it's not connecting with her physical body, and therefore she's putting a lot of weight and pressure on me as a person to try to transport her anywhere in the house. So our routine is we get her up. Um, she normally gets up with a walker. We stand her up. She normally can hold, once we get her standing, she can normally hold herself up. She's normally fine. Um, she's not able to do that. You have to hang on to her. She'll just let go of the walker and fall straight back. She has no inclination that she's even doing it. No idea. Sometimes having her stand up, she goes into a panic mode and she throws her feet out underneath the walker and almost like slides, almost like a slip and slide underneath the walker. It's really scary when she does it. Or she just starts walking, but her body doesn't follow with it. Um, she's been doing some just kind of off the wall stuff, but it's really physically challenging myself and her because I don't want her to get hurt. Um, One day I knew that she was having trouble standing up, and I would just sit her back on the bed, and she would literally just pull me back on the bed with her because she couldn't even let go of me. And so we fell back on the bed. Um, no injuries, we didn't hit her head or anything. The bed's wide enough, but it was just like we kind of slowly went down on the bed, and I didn't know what to do. So I called the doctor. Of course, I always call the doctor. I love the gal that always answers the phone because she knows me. She knows me really well. I've been talking to her for 6 years. So when I call, she answers, and I just tell her who I am. She knows who I am, which is nice. It's nice to have someone that you can just pick up the phone and call, and they know who you are. So when you have questions or whatever, they're right there for you. She's really good at getting a hold of the RN and having her get a hold of me. So my question for you guys is, when you're dealing with change, um, do you feel like it starts to mentally exhaust you? Because like when I go in to lift her up every day now, because I get her up several times a day to use the potty chair or to change her diaper. And I know I need to transition, I almost said transfer, transition into changing her diaper in the bed. So I'm not making her get up and stand as much. And we are working on getting her a lift chair that helps her get up off the bed, so I'm not having to physically pick her up. She's not real heavy. She's about 115 pounds, maybe 120, maybe a little more because she likes to eat, but she's not super heavy. I can pick her up. I've picked her straight up off the floor before and picked her right up and put her on her feet. But I noticed that it's getting harder and harder because she's panicking during the transition period of moving her at all. Doesn't matter what, even if you're pushing her down the hall in the wheelchair down the hallway, she's panicking. And she will put her feet down or she'll throw her arms out. And I'm so terrified I'm going to hurt her. I'm like, ah, and it's so scary when she does it. So I want to know what your thoughts are. If you have ideas, something that you guys can share with me that's helpful. Now, I have talked to the doctor. I've looked up some resources, and I've found about 3 different things that will work, but not all 3 of them work for the routine that we have. So now I'm trying to transition the actual routine that I have for her around the equipment. If this makes any sense, I hope I'm making sense to some of you guys. I'm trying to change her schedule and her routine around the equipment that we have that's going to help her. I'm not talking about her waking up or going to sleep. I'm talking about just moving her from the bedroom, um, or getting her up in the bedroom to the potty chair, down the hall to the dining room so she can eat, to the living room so she can watch TV, and then back to her bedroom for a diaper change, and then back to the living room or back to the table. This is a rotating thing that we do. So we go from the bed to the dining room table to eat, the dining room table back to a diaper change in the bedroom, back from the bedroom to the couch, um, for just, relaxation, entertainment. We watch TV together. We light the fire. She loves it when I light the fire. She absolutely loves that. She likes it when I play music, or she likes to be in the living room. Okay. Um, which gives me another idea of that. Sorry about the pause. I just had another moment. Um, Also, she likes to be where people are most of the time, not all the time. Once in a while, once we get her out to the living room or the dining room, she doesn't want to go back to the bedroom. But once we get her in the bedroom, then she wants to stay in the bedroom. So it's kind of like a thing where she just wants to be wherever she's at. If we're making her stand up and we change her, then she wants to stay right where she's at. Sometimes we'll put her on the potty chair and she refuses to get off the potty chair because she's not moving. And I get it, because she does not feel safe moving. She's going through anxiety. She's having episodes and panicking. And it's taken two of us now to lift her up, and two of us to hold on to her to get the diaper changed. Now I know that I can change her diaper in the bed. Okay. I will have to transition her whole room, which is not a big deal. Transitioning is not a big deal. But hear me out. I'm going to have to redo her whole room to where I can get to her, or I can just pull her out. Her bed moves really easily. She has a really nice hospital bed. And it's lightweight. It rolls. Like, I can just roll her all around the room if I wanted to. If it fit in the doorway and down the hall, I would just do that, I would just sit her up, lay her down, but I'd be afraid she'd start developing bed sores if we did that. So we want to try to encourage her to move, and I do try to encourage her to walk, use her walker. Now she's not even using the walker. We're just using the wheelchair. We're getting her into the wheelchair and wheeling her around the house. She is getting up using the walker to transition from the wheelchair to the couch, or the wheelchair to the commode, or the wheelchair to the bed. Those are the three places she transitions to. But she's terrified. She's freaking out. She's scared. And what I'm asking you, I guess, is, how are you coping? How do you cope with this if this is you? Or maybe you haven't dealt with this yet. And if you haven't dealt with this yet, I'm probably scaring the tar right out of you, and I do apologize. I'm not saying your loved one will go through this. Every person that has this disease goes through the stages differently. Let me just reverse that and say it like that. So I want to ask you what your guys' thoughts are, about it, and if you even have any thoughts, I don't know, before we talk about the the tip of the day. But I just kind of want to share my heart with you and let you guys know that I'm kind of struggling. I'm struggling with, um, well, one, my own self, my own physical health. I'm pretty strong, but I can't pick her up every single day, 4, 5, 6 times a day, and hold her up and transition everything around her, um, with one hand. I'm doing everything one-handed. And I'm finding that my body is kind of hurting. I'm in my 50s. I'm not old, but I'm not dead yet. But um, I'm not 16. My 16-year-old daughter helps me. My 33-year-old daughter helps me, and it's nice that I have them to help me when I need to get her up and move her or not. Um, the other thing is I don't like her to be in bed until someone's here to help me move her. The last couple of days, I've been afraid to move her by myself, just because I don't want her to fall. So I do have, like I said, a call into the doctor. They're working on getting me some assistance. Um, I want to know how you guys operate with that, because I can't schedule her to get up when this assistant comes to get her up. she's not going to want to get up. She's going to be combative. She's going to be argumentative. She's going to refuse. There's times when I've had to change her and get her up because she's had an accident and she's in a mess. And she will literally refuse. She will push you away. Um, I don't care how nice you are to her. I don't care how much you explain to her that this is for her own good and for her own health. She will literally push you out of the way. She will tell you to leave her alone and to get away from her and to get out. And I usually leave for a couple minutes and I give it a go again. And I leave a couple minutes and give it a go again. And I get her into different stages. So, because I don't want to fight with her. But sometimes you just have to go in and put your foot down and you just have to get them up because they're going to get sick. They have to be cleaned. They have to be changed. They cannot lay there in that. Um, they cannot be left laying in feces. They just can't. Urine is one thing. I don't recommend that, but urine is better than, if they had a bowel movement. So again, I want to know what your thoughts are. I am transitioning her this week into some new things, and I'm a little nervous only because I'm doing this all by myself most of the day. Um, I do have a little bit of help throughout, in the early in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening, but throughout the whole middle of the day, it's just me here with her. And it can get a little bit scary when I can't get her up. And I'm afraid we're both going to fall down and hit our head or land on the floor. And I know I will do everything in my power to block her from hitting the ground. She would land on me probably, hopefully. That would be my goal if we were to go down. But I'm just curious as to what other people would, what you all think about it and what you would do. So keep this in mind. So today's topic is during change, how are you coping with it and what are you doing? Is it mentally taking a toll on you? Um, are you feeling like you have to do this out of obligation? I don't feel like that. I made a commitment to my grandma, but I know if I get to a point where I physically cannot take care of her, then things will definitely change for a different, a different way of life for her. Whether that's her living with her son or her going into a nursing home, which I really, 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 really do not want. But I feel right now in my heart truly that she has gone downhill a lot this last week or so. And so it's been really sad to see her, but she still is talkative and she's still her perky little, quirky little self sometimes. And other times she's off the wall with saying stuff. But the other thing I noticed with her with this change is that when she's eating her food, she's literally mixing all of her food together and it's awkward. We will have that in another episode. I will share all about the food experience that I've had. It has been interesting the last week, but anyhow. So what can you tell me? What can you say? What would you do if it was you, or if you've gone through it, or if you are going through it? What are you doing to cope? What are your coping mechanisms? I know when my daughter gets here, personally, I like to take a walk around the block. I go out and tinker in the garage for a little bit. I try to work on something. I don't like to be far away from her because I don't want um, to have to worry that something might happen to her and that be on anybody that's helping me take care of her. I feel like it's solely my responsibility. So I don't go too far. Excuse me if that makes any sense to you. I think you can maybe understand and relate with that. But again, I just want to know what you guys think. So enough of that. Let's talk about, I want to talk about the tip of the day. And I know people are like, what do you mean the tip of the day? I'm like, okay, this is a fun fact that I like to share with each one of my podcasts that I do with until my watch is over. I wanted to share something with you that you may or may not know. That may be a myth or maybe a fact or something that's fun or something that's not so fun. And we know dementia is not fun. Okay. We know it's not fun. Um, but I still have hope. And if we try to look on the brighter side of things, then the bad days don't seem so bad. You know that? They really don't. So the question of the day is dementia a normal part of aging? Mm, I need a little timer, like the Jeopardy, like do 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 do. But is dementia a normal part of aging? Guess what that answer is? Does anybody know? Do you know the answer? Okay. Dementia is not a normal part of aging. Not everyone gets dementia. Isn't that good news? I mean, that's actually kind of good news that we can think about this and know that not every single older person or every person that's living and walking on this earth is going to get dementia. We can think about that in a positive way. As horrible as this disease is, we have something positive that can come out of it. And that's the fact that not everyone's going to get it. Okay. It's kind of like when you're in a room with 20 people and 5 people are sneezing. Are the other 15 people going to get sick? What are the odds? Right? Okay. So we want to consider that and know that there is still some hope, that not everyone out there will get dementia. And there are ways that you need to get yourself aware if you don't have dementia, ways that you can help yourself to work on preventing dementia from happening. I shared that in the last episode's tip. So if you miss it, go back and watch last week's episode because I share a fun fact there too. Okay. I'm not going to share that here because I want you to watch the episode. I want you to be a part of this community. I would love for you, if you are a caregiver, caretaker, a loved one, um, that maybe has just been diagnosed, or someone who's dealing with dementia in whatever realm. It doesn't matter. Even if you're just seeking out awareness. If you want to come on here and share your tips and you want to talk about this disease and how detrimental it is, if you want to talk about the good days, you want to talk about the bad days, if you want to just tell some stories, I shared a story last week um, about my grandmother, which was really cute. um, I like to try to share the memorable stories because that's what keeps us alive, are the great memories that we gain as we go through this. But come on here and be a guest. I would love to have you. Reach out to me at untilmywatchisover.com. It'll literally pop up and let me know that you're there. Give me your name and information. I'll get back to you. I would love to have you be a guest. I'd love to have you come on here and share what you think. What would you do in my situation? With the story I shared with you today. Actually, it's not a story. It's really what's going on. This is real life stuff. Let's keep it real, right? Um, with what's going on, what would you do? I would love to have someone that I could just talk to in the moment sometimes. And I know with this disease, we feel so alone. We feel alone in this. We feel like nobody understands or gets what we're going through. Nobody can get what we're saying or understand the situation, or everyone wants to put in 2 cents, but they have no idea what it is we're doing. So if that's you and you do know what you're doing and you have been through it, come on, get on the show. Get on the show with me so we can share with this podcast with people and we can build this community of awareness and also hope. So anyhow, I just want to say thank you for watching today. This has been another great episode of Until My Watch is Over. And think about what I said. Think about the tip of the day and think about what I said. And hey, send me an answer. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me what you would do. Give me some ideas. Throw them down, throw them my way. I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to read. I'm willing um, to not just think that I have everything figured out, because I don't. That's why I'm reaching out to you guys today. I really want to know if you guys have some advice you can give me. Because sometimes I do get tired, and right now this week has been very, very exhausting and wearing on me, but I still have hope. So, and if that's you, if you feel like you're getting weary and you're getting tired, just remember there's still hope. There's people like me that's rooting for you. And I'm hoping that you're rooting for me too. So again, until my watch is over, this has been a great episode. I hope you all have a great day. Take care of yourself.